Have you had the opportunity to see the recommendations by any of our department heads, and specifically the police chief?
Yes, I did, I saw all that. And
Okay.
I sent the town administrator a letter saying that we shouldn't have a problem with any of that stuff.
So you'd be adhering to the requirements of the permit? So there'll be no minors participating?
Is, if I may, Bob?
Yes.
Yeah, I did notice that. There won't even be any minors allowed in the building, and that's what this says, is that correct?
Yes,
So even somebody couldn't bring their own child?
that's what we're telling people
I'm-
that's what we're telling people at this time, yes.
So the
Well,
bowling
that's the way it
alley
would
is
have to be.
closed to,
Private party.
Yeah, it's a private party.
okay.
Yeah,
You only buy tickets off
Right.
our website, it states that you cannot bring any children.
So you're renting the whole place in essence?
Yes, it's actually being donated to us by the owner for the evening.
Great.
That's commendable,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
I don't have any problems.
I applaud you for your efforts.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
one of the things we had asked for was a letter from the bowling alley granting permission, and I don't know if a copy of that's been forwarded. I have not gotten it.
Sure, I actually spoke to her on Saturday, and she told me that she would fax one at some point over the next couple days. She hadn't yet. I tried to call the town administrator's office today to let them know that we hadn't received that letter yet. But the owner of the bowling alley told me that an inspector had already been there to look the place over and make sure that there was, I'm assuming from the fire department, that the exits were clear and all that, so somebody from the town has spoken to the owner of the bowling alley, but I will absolutely definitely get her to have that letter to you sometime. She said she'd do it on Monday or Tuesday. I'm assuming she didn't get to it today.
Can we approve it with the condition that we need to receive that letter before we issue it?
Prove it on condition of
Subject to the
receipt.
conditions
Receipt,
is stipulated by the chief of police, and also a
Would you
letter
say
being
on-
forward by the owner of the, bowling alley,
stipulation on-
authorizing the event to take
He
place.
said on
Or acknowledging that the event
on,
was gonna take place.
Sure, we've got everything.
on
upon-
acknowledging
up-
the requirements of the chief of
Doesn't just
police
indicate her.
and the
That's good.
receipt of the,
I think that'd be like having a
just what,
party at my house.
what
forget to tell me.
receipt are we looking for from the bowling alley, Greg?
Permission from the
Permission,
owner of the business.
permission
And letter of permission.
from the bowling alley. When you're ready, let me know.
Okay. Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Yule.
I move to grant a one-day, excuse me, wine and malt beverage license to the FA Project, Inc. for an event to be held at Candlewood Lanes, 35 Main Street, on April 10, 2010, between the hours of 7 PM to 11 PM, subject to all regulatory department requirements, and on the letter from the chief of police, And
On the
a let-
requirements,
a requirement, that's
Yeah,
right, okay,
requirements.
on the requirements of the police, chief of police, and a letter of permission from the bowling establishment.
Second.
motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous?
Wish you much success.
Yes?
Good luck.
Thank you very much. So,
Greg will,
as far as, I know you said that, I wrote a letter to the police department telling them I would adhere to those, to their, all the stipulations that they had. Do I need to provide you with anything else from the police department?
no, if you've read the letter, just, now we just need the letter from the bowling alley.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you guys get that.
We just take it to
Is this
the
us too?
administrator's office, and,
Yeah.
Sure. I spoke with Linda, and I think she knows that it's coming.
yeah, great. All right, good luck.
All right, thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Good luck.
Okay, next item on our agenda is a meeting with NORCAM, the annual status update, and I see that is here.
Hi,
Good evening.
How you doing? Someone have a copy of the report?
Yes,
You.
a very nice report.
Thank you, thank you. So, just kind of move the highlights. So, 2009 was a very dynamic time for us. In the process of finishing up our new studio, so we were working at almost 2 locations at once. That proposed its own set of challenges and whatnot, but outside of that, we've taken into consideration a lot of things from the last meeting from the previous year. We tried to put those into motion as well. We've done a lot to improve our signal quality. We're actually now using the iNet as a cable caster that's actually much improved speed, much clearer picture. We have new modulators. Those are devices that actually transmit our signal from the Damon Tavern over to the hub at the high school and out. But I'm just gonna take this right through. Regarding our membership, we don't really gain any new members. It's kind of tough because we're building most of the year, and I really can't invite people to come and use a facility that's under construction. It's not safe, let alone it's not functional. So, we worked really hard to try to get in new equipment, work on the new facility and get that going. But we didn't lose any members. People that were active within our organization still volunteered. They were signing up for field equipment. They were covering local events. They're still very interested, and that's one area that we'd like to change for 2010. We'd actually like to, once we have our facility open, have a big grand opening, welcome the community in and, start teaching classes on a more regular basis. And we do look to expand our staff so we can actually be there longer. I mean, if we do that so many hours a day, I would if I could. Regarding our membership rates, they're still one of the lowest in the area. Still $20 for individuals or families or organizations and $10 for students and senior citizens. And I'm not gonna break it down how it is on this diagram, but you can just clearly see that it's a good value for folks, and what they get is free equipment use, free use of the facilities. They have the access to the airwaves as well. If they produce a program, whether they just covered a concert, if they have a show they'd like to do, they have access to it. I mean, that's something that costs tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars to go on like a network. So at least the community has access to that. To have classes, to take a class at like a college, university, to learn video editing or from, say, a professional educational resource, that's still at least $100 like per class period. So, that's free. You can't beat that. So, that's one good thing. If you look at some of our contemporaries, some of them charge money for classes, and we don't. We just want to make this, especially in this economic climate, we want to make things available for the community. And who knows, maybe someone could get an vocational skill and possibly pursue this as a career as well. I've had some of my former students go on just to do that, whether they work for the news or they go out to Hollywood, and that's a good thing. You feel kind of good when you do that, and we did do a lot of collaborations with our peers around town. We've worked with the Flint Memorial Library. We've covered their events, posted their messages. Parks and Recreation has just started actually using us to post their messages, and that's what it's there for. Any organization in town, Senior Center, Library, Cub Scouts, they can use that bulletin board to get their message out there. They could also get active, and they can let the community know by both posting bulletin board messages, but also producing programming. There's so much opportunity at the Access Center, so, yeah. But again, we'd like to, obviously grow in that aspect. We'd like to have more members. We'd like to teach classes regularly. But I think once people really realize what's there and get involved, I don't really see any issues with that at all. I think it's gonna grow and grow and grow, which is good. That's what we want. Regarding our facilities and equipment, like I said, when we started in 2008, we inherited a bunch of equipment that really wasn't optimal at all. It was actually, most of it didn't even work. So realizing with what funds we had to start up with, we did the best we could. We've had to buy a lot of refurbished equipment, but it works. We bought some new stuff. We got a new video switcher there, so kind of pick up between the cameras and whatnot. We have, field equipment, so people can actually go out and tape these events around town, have tripods instead of trying to handhold it and it gets all wobbly, so. And again, as we grow and we get our next round of, capital grants from the cable providers, we'll be able to put some of that money to good use. We'd actually like to, while you finish the Dave and Ted facility, but continue to work on fixing here, the meeting rooms and whatnot. I think those rooms definitely need to be addressed. But what we've kind of got now with the new Dave and Ted facility is we have a much bigger facility. There's actually a handicap accessible bathroom and a regular restroom. There's a kitchenette if someone should be hungry. There's a conference room, and that actually does have the ability, it has audio and video input and output lines, so if someone wanted to televise a meeting from there, they could. I mean, that's a great community resource. I mean, I don't know too many places that just offer, hey, you guys go meet and record your meetings here. We have, we've tried to kind of keep our green initiative, how we wanted to be more environmentally friendly, because we noticed that, television facilities aren't really the most environmentally friendly or green facilities. I mean, they're constantly using power, constantly running power. And we've tried to take certain steps to help alleviate some of that. Besides the obviously using like compact fluorescent lights and whatnot, we have light switches on timers, so if someone's not using a room, it shuts off. Why waste the power, We have, we just actually, for our playback room, it has to be constantly kept cool, and working with John Welsh, he recommended an air conditioner for us that's, very energy efficient, so that works out really well for us. Our studio lights use a fraction of the power of our traditional studio lights. We used to have these 1,000 watt lights. Now one of our light fixtures uses about maybe 35 watts. They're dimmable. I mean, a lot of our furnishings we got from a materials handling corporate recycler. So that kind of saved some couches, some desks, and went from a trash dump, as well as some computers. I mean, just little things you take can actually do go a long way, not just as a cost-effective measure, but also as a way to just be a little bit more environmentally conscious. So, I mean, that was one of our focuses. We set out, we mentioned it last year, and we've kind of been following through with that. Regarding live meeting coverage, I know that that's definitely been an issue, and we've tried our best to, partner with Comcast. I mean, I personally am not permitted to work on the iNet. It's just one of those, it's in the contract, so. Luckily, we have a really good technician and some support technicians that, there to help us, so we've made very good use of them. I mean, we've had to do everything from repair connections from the outside of the middle school and follow those lines all the way to the library, from the LGI light, because they meet in both locations. We replaced cabling there, connectors. The hub at the high school, where all all the signals meet, whether it's data, video, and audio. A lot of the equipment, they put that brand new rack of equipment to handle all the data end of things, but all the audio and video is still meeting with the old Land City equipment. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that system, but that was how all the data used to travel around. Now there's this whole new system in place. Well, because that Land City equipment was still there and it wasn't even used, it was just bottlenecking our signal. It was actually truncating a lot because you're sending your signal in one way, it gets split, gets divided, gets combined again, and all these little variables were just mucking up the works, So we've been in the process of just bypassing all that equipment and seeing how things run, and it hasn't been an issue yet, so. Our technician's probably gonna come down and we're gonna actually revisit that hub room and just do a little bit of more of a cleanup and straighten things out a bit there, and I think we'll be set with that. Regarding, here, I mean, the switcher that was there was failing, it was old, and the picture was getting all scattered. We replaced that thing, that's still $2,000 we had to come up with for that. We now record onto DVDs, we're not using VHS tape, which is nice to clean a picture, it's a little bit more reliable of a source. And I've been archiving the old meetings, ever since we started in February.